Simple Kitchen. It is the holiday season, and because it's the holiday season, we have a super special guest today. And I'm going to let Dr. Double Portions introduce our guest because they happen to be related.
Great. Thank you, Cinful. And I am very excited to have with us today. This is my mom. And she spoiled us, and she showed up with homemade pumpkin bread and banana bread, so we'll be disappearing off camera to have some of this shortly.
Well, she does all the work.
Yes. Yeah. And let me tell you about doing all the work. I asked my mom to join us today because she has been cooking baklava for half a century now.
She started
that long.
That long.
Okay.
And
She started at birth.
yeah. And our family has been making baklava for years, but I have to tell you, all of the aunts think that theirs the best, but I'm here to tell you today, my mom's is absolutely the best, and even other people say that.
Oh, at work, they can hardly wait for Christmas to come so we can have a piece of baklava.
So,
Everybody's already asking us for it too, and we haven't even made it
We
yet.
haven't even made it yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just turn it over to my mom here, and she's going to share a couple of her special tricks and tips to make this very easy to make for you too.
Because it's not really hard, right?
It's not really hard, and like I said, I've been doing it for a really long time. So it's simple. It's simple. Pans, phyllo dough. Don't get the puff kind. Walnuts, pecans, or any other nut that you prefer. Cinnamon sticks, cinnamon, sugar. I have learned over the couple of years that this makes a great cutting tool. Little pizza cutter. This we'll show you later, just for slicing the top. And can't do without a pastry brush because you have to put the butter on. Without the butter and all of these sinful ingredients, you know, it's really easy. Damp towel to keep your phyllo from drying out. I don't know if anybody has worked with phyllo dough, but it's like working with tissue paper, but it dries out and cracks and crumbles. If your towel is too wet, then you end up with glue. So
We don't want glue in our baklava.
So we do, we'll make a syrup first. That's normally what I do, and then it just sits and rests. You have to melt your butter and grind all the nuts, and we're ready to roll.
And I know that in addition to the honey, you have occasionally experimented with some different things in your baklava. And since Cinfully Simple is all about playing with your food, we're going to let you know that you could experiment with the same stuff. It's totally up to you. But what have you done in the past?
Rose water or orange blossom water. That would be instead of your honey. The honey.
Oh, you do it instead of the honey?
Instead of the honey.
Oh, I didn't realize
Yeah,
that. Okay.
that's instead of the honey.
And today we're making 1 pan of pecans and 1 pan of walnuts, but you've also used various nuts along the way too.
Yeah, I have. And pistachio, almonds, whatever your preference is. Forgot about our lemon. This is what really makes the flavor. Between the lemon and the honey, you're going to do the zest. And when you do that, when you get a lemon, and I just learned this, make sure it's got enough stuff on it, the rind on it, so you can zest it. I had one that I couldn't get the zest off, so I had to go buy another one.
Yeah, so make sure your skin's nice and thick. And then, you know, if you wanted to, you could probably even mix the pecans and the walnuts together.
If you'd like, yep.
Okay.
All right.
So,
Are you ready to go?
Are you ready to go?
Ready to roll.
All right,
Here we go.
let's make some baklava.
making the syrup. We're just going to let this sit here and rest while we put the baklava together with the nuts. We're going to grind those up. We're going to put some butter, melt it, and our ingredients. That's it. Phyllo and a pan.
You're ready.
Now that we have the nuts, butter melted, this just till later. We've got to get our phyllo. And again, remember, it's phyllo sheets, not puff. Made that mistake once. Only make mistake one time. And these are really fun to work with. And this is to keep the phyllo dough from drying out. You're going to start with butter in your pan. And when I'm putting this together, I've used maybe 8 sheets of the phyllo on the bottom, then the 3 layers of nuts, so you can put maybe 5, 6 sheets of phyllo in between each layer. And this might be a little more than a third, but that's okay. I'm going to save these nice ones for the top because they'll be easier to cut. And I'm going to use these scruffy ones because you're going to put at least 8 layers on the top, and I like a little bit more than 8. So we'll put some of this scraggly stuff on, and then we'll use those last good ones for the very, very top. Almost ready to cook part, and at this time I usually start my oven so it preheats while I'm cutting this, and 350 degrees, and a middle rack is what I usually use. And when I have phyllo dough that cooperates with me, I can usually have my second pan put together and ready for the oven by the time this one's completely done. And now the fun part, 5 strips. And like I say, I just recently learned that this pizza cutter is wonderful. And I've done this so many times that I don't have to measure 5. And again, if it's not perfect, it's okay. And when you cut this with the pizza cutter, before you bake it, you're going to cut all the way down, through all of the layers down to the bottom, okay? The top sheets, you're going to just cut the top layers that you've put on. You're going to do diagonal cuts. And it's easier not to use the pizza cutter for this part. And this is the time-consuming part. And I usually just start in one corner and then turn my pan. It's easier to do it that way. of our holiday baking.
Baklava, Mom's famous baklava. Thank you for making baklava for us.
Thank you for making this. And for all of you, give it a shot. Have fun with it. And as Mom stated, perfect doesn't always taste good.
Yeah.
So
That's it.
play
That's
with
it.
your food.
Yep.
Yep.
Make sure you play with your food this holiday. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Miss Mary, what is it?
Merry Christmas, Mahana Kwanzaa.
There you go.
That's
there
it.
you have it.
Bye.
And there's wonderful things that you can make with the extra pieces if you have any leftover pieces. Apple turnovers, cherry turnovers, and on the box of all of those, they always have some wonderful new recipes that I have never tried. Okay, I'm not gonna get it. Oh no! See, I get halfway through.
Yeah, I where that fold is.
And if you're having problems, you put bad end here for one, and then the bad end there for the next.
Well, that works.
That works.
You know, it's not a perfect thing. Maybe that's the thing. It's
Huh?
not perfect. Never.
Never perfect. Never perfect. Perfect doesn't taste real good. True.
Yeah, kind of where that fold is.
And if you're having problems, you put bad end here for one, and then the bad end there for the next. And I cut these in half because this side was easier to take apart. That's half of the other one. And then you can just, one half, one half, one half.